For this video, we'll be tying a Baetis Parachute Fly with a twist. This is a great little fly to use as an emerger during a Baetis hatch or as an indicator fly for trailing a Baetis emerger or cripple. So let's get started. I'm going to be using a partridge clinghammer hook for this tie today, size 16. A little bit larger than I would normally tie this fly to be used on the water. I'll be using a size 18 and 20, but we're going to use a little bit larger hook and a little bit larger tie just for the video. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to tie a bead of thread on the hook using a jam knot. Thread we're using today is black Griffith shear thread, size 14. Next, we're going to take a couple of strands of ice fur rusty orangutan in color. Just a couple of strands will do. And tie those on as the trailing shuck. You want to tie it all the way down a little bit, about a quarter way into the bend of the hook. We'll cut off. Like I say, you're probably using 3 or 4 pieces of this ice fur. I'm going to cut off the tag end fibers. Next, we're going to be tying in extra small ultra wire gold in color. Lay that on top of the hook. Just key it in the thread. And we're also going to be using a barb out of a turkey feather on the opposite side of the Baetis. We're going to use one of these barbs to make the abdomen. And we want to tie that in, and again bring thread all the way down and then back up towards the eye. So we're going to wrap the barb from the turkey feather using a pinch wrap technique to create the abdomen. A lot of people will be using hackle pliers for this wrap. I just kind of like doing the pinch wrap. Feel like I have more control. Or putting the material on. We'll do a figure 8. Cut off the tag. A couple of more wraps. And then we're going to bring the extra small ultra wire and rib the abdomen. Some people will wrap it in the other direction. I haven't found that that's something that we need to do for this fly or any fly. I always wrap my wire or rib in the same direction I wrapped on the body material. Figure 8 here. Then we're going to helicopter the wire until it breaks off. Couple of secure wraps there. Now we're going to put on the post for the parachute, and we're going to be using organza material, red color, and we're going to tear off about 3 bunches of that. Should be enough. You want to even up and fibers as best you can. Lay it horizontal down along the shank of the hook. Come in with a pinch wrap. When you get it in the position you want, another pinch wrap. Pull it snug, and about 3 more wraps to securely tie it in. Now let's go around the organza material, the thread, and pull out a couple of errant fibers if that didn't key up when you grab the bunch. There we go. Next, we want to put in the hackle, and I'm using a natural grizzly hackle, about a size 14. I always like to use for a parachute, hackle size about 1 size larger than the size of the fly that we're going to be tying. In this case, it's a 14, and we're tying a 16, size 16 fly. Post it up, the hackle that is. And at this stage, I like putting a little head cement on the post, kind of stiffens it up a little bit, so that when we tie the hackle, it goes on a lot easier. Next, we're going to be taking some peacock curl. I'm going to take 2 strands, peel them off. Cut the tips back a little bit so we get a little bit more strength in the peacock curl. Get the feather out of the way here. A little bob here, okay. Now we're going to just twist in a clockwise direction. The bobs just ever so slightly, not the bobs, but the peacock curl. and wrap it around to create the thorax for this fly. Keep giving a little twist about every turn. Then we're going to bring it up and we're going to go around the post. Bring it back down and then up near the eye to tie it off. We created a nice little thorax here with the peacock curl. I'm going to gently cut the extra off. Create a nice little neat head. The eye. Take your whip finisher. Do 3 or 4 or 5 whip finishes. Got a little bit of the extra on the eye, trim it off. Now you want to just reach out, bring it, thread up, and then around the parachute post or the organza. Now we're ready to tie on the hackle feather. I'm going to start at the top and wind down. Just bend the feather each side so that we're going underneath the previous wrap. Four or 5 wraps should be enough. Now bring the feather down and the thread on top of it and wind underneath the hackle wraps. This will secure the hackle in. You can take your scissors, reach in, cut off the excess hackle. Now we're going to be doing a half hitch. Around underneath the hackle. Get a little head cement. Put it on the thread and gently snug in the thread underneath the hackle. Cut off the thread. And put a little bit of head cement on the organza. Just a tiny bit, and twist it. And then come up. Leave a generous portion when you cut off the organza. Now you want to take your burning tool and melt the organza material ever so gently. Melt the post down and do it slowly so you don't end up burning the hackle. There you go. Let that cool down a little bit. Any trimming It's your pink nail polish. And put a little dab. Sometimes that'll take 2 coats. Here we have a finished Baetis Parachute Fly that I call with a twist. Great little fly. The fish doing a Baetis hatch, or to use as the up fly when you want to be trailing a smaller emerger size, say 20 or cripple 20 or Baetis fly.